This presentation focuses on a literature review entitled Nutrition and Dementia: Evidence for Preventative Approaches. This literature review discussed the effects of possible nutritional interventions on the prevention of cognitive decline in at-risk older adults. Just a quick introduction, I'm Jackson Glover, a master's research candidate in physiology. The literature review paper's authors are Marco Canavelli, Flaminio Lucchini, Federico Corrada, Giuseppe Bruno, and Matteo Cesari. Dementia is quickly becoming a prominent neurodegenerative disease among the older population, as its incidence has risen over the last 20 years. Fortunately, researchers have begun to ascertain various causal factors that put individuals at an increased risk. Unfortunately, specific prevention methods have not been discovered. Dementia places many burdens on those it affects, as well as those caring for them, such as family members, medical practitioners, and support staff. The current research on risk factors for dementia is centered on cardiovascular indicators. This led the authors of this paper to explore the nutritional interventions that could take place to reduce the risk of cognitive decline, in this case dementia. Their question was, what does the current nutritional literature have to say regarding various interventions in the reduction of dementia and/or overall cognitive decline in the older adult population? As seen to the right of this slide, the researchers had 117 papers that were possible candidates for study. However, they utilized several factors including ensuring results are from randomized controlled trials, ensuring the studies tested nutritional interventions, that they studied non-demented or healthy older adults, that they recruited participants that were at least 55 years of age or older adults, and that they studied the relationship of cognitive function in relation to nutritional interventions. Three of the paper's authors, as noted, participated in the systematic review of the articles for this literature review. Then, the authors took the 11 papers that made the final cut and gathered the noted data to begin collecting their results. This slide includes the results from 3 of the 11 papers included in the study. 2 of the included papers produced potentially beneficial nutritional interventions for cognitive health. For the study by Van der Rest and others, protein intake was suggested to be targeted around 30 grams per day, along with exercise, among the 127 individuals studied at an average age of 79 years old. The study indicated that a combination of exercise with protein intake around 30 grams per day led to improved information processing speed among those studied. In a similar diet-driven study by Martinez, Lepicina, and others of 522 adults with a mean age of 67.4 years with high vascular disease or complication risk, found that the Mediterranean diet, with a particular focus on the use of extra virgin olive oil and unsaturated fat, along with a protein intake of 30 grams per day from mixed nuts, also provided significant improvement for cognitive performance. However, the study by Alves and others proposed that the creatine intake be increased to 20 grams per day for 5 days and then stepped down to 5 grams a day thereafter, along with strength training. Creatine is important in the recycling of ATP in the body, which powers many cellular processes, particularly in the muscle and brain tissues. However, over the 24 weeks of study, there did not appear to be any significant cognitive benefit for the 56 older women with a mean age around 67 years that were studied. Overall, the results of the literature review indicated that nutritional interventions led to positive outcomes and reduced cognitive decline. Many of these selected studies combined the dietary interventions such as the Mediterranean diet with physical activity as a means of measuring reduced mild cognitive impairment, or MCI, as the researchers termed. Several key takeaways from the data indicated that the Mediterranean diet, increased protein intake, and vitamin D supplementation for deficiencies, as well as an adequate intake of flavonoids from teas, for example, increased cognitive performance. This literature review brings about several connections to topics discussed in the course. The first major connection is the importance of adequate protein in the diets of older adults, as it not only preserves their muscle mass and encourages muscle protein synthesis, but also serves as a means of preventing frailty. in addition to the beneficial effects on cognitive function that the review discussed. Another connection to the course discussions is the use of the Mediterranean diet. This serves as a protective measure for patients dealing with cardiac problems, as it is high in unsaturated fats, low in saturated fats, and high in omega-3 fatty acids. We also learned that this promotes good renal function against the risk of developing chronic kidney disease. In addition, the Mediterranean diet was found to reduce the risk of developing cognitive decline and problems as it is low in saturated fats that are known to contribute to cognitive decline, specifically Alzheimer's disease. While this literature review identified very positive information for the nutritional impact various nutritional interventions may have on the prognosis for those diagnosed with dementia and other cognitive declining diseases, the data does not have any clinical practice implications as it has not been shared with the medical community. Another limitation is that not all of these nutritional interventions are feasible, such as strength training and exercise, for every older adult to implement. This will be the case for those that are homebound, living alone, or with severe physical disabilities such as amputees. However, the review found several feasible interventions such as targeting protein intake to 30 grams per day, as well as implementing the Mediterranean diet principles. These can be accomplished even by the homebound with the appropriate consultations with their medical and dietary providers as well as family and friends. Also, further study is needed, as the authors note, to develop the nutritional interventions further and to fine-tune their effectiveness on slowing and even potentially reversing cognitive decline. On this slide, it will prompt you to leave a question if you have one about the content discussed.